In a remote village nestled deep in the mountains, there lived a young man named Leo. The village was isolated, surrounded by thick forests and towering cliffs. The people in the village lived simple lives, depending on the land and animals for food. However, despite the peaceful surroundings, Leo often felt a deep sense of loneliness. He had no family, and his only friends were the birds in the trees and the occasional traveler passing through the village. For as long as he could remember, Leo had always been drawn to the idea of adventure and exploration. He would often look up at the tall cliffs that surrounded the village, wondering what lay beyond them. But there was one thing that always stopped him from leaving: the invisible bridge. The invisible bridge was a legend passed down through generations in the village. According to the story, there was a bridge that connected the village to the outside world, but it could only be seen by those with a pure heart and a clear mind. It was said that the bridge was invisible to everyone else, and only those who truly believed in the power of kindness and selflessness could find it. One cold evening, while sitting by the fire, Leo overheard a conversation between two old villagers. They spoke of a distant land beyond the mountains, where the sun always shone, and the fields were rich with crops. Leo's heart filled with longing, and he knew that he had to find the invisible bridge. The next morning, he packed a small bag with food, water, and his most cherished possession, a notebook in which he had written down all the stories he had heard as a child. He believed that these stories were more than just tales; they were the keys to unlocking the mysteries of the world. Before he left, Leo visited the village elder, a wise woman named Mira, who had known the story of the invisible bridge better than anyone else.
"Are you sure you want to leave?"
Mira asked, looking at Leo with kind, tired eyes.
"The journey is long and difficult. Many have tried to find the bridge, but they have never returned."
Leo nodded.
"I believe in the stories, and I believe that kindness is the key to finding the bridge."
Mira smiled softly and placed her hand on Leo's shoulder.
"Remember, the bridge will only appear when your heart is open to others. Do not let fear or selfishness cloud your path."
With those words in mind, Leo set off on his journey, determined to find the invisible bridge. As Leo traveled deeper into the forest, the days grew longer, and the path became more difficult. The weather turned cold, and the trees grew thick with snow. Leo faced many challenges along the way, from steep cliffs to wild animals. But no matter how hard the journey became, Leo kept moving forward, never losing sight of his goal. One evening, as he sat beside a campfire, a poor traveler approached him. The man was weak and hungry, his clothes torn from the journey. He asked Leo for food and shelter for the night. Leo didn't hesitate. He shared his food with the traveler, offering him the warmth of the fire.
"Rest here, the road is difficult, but we will both continue tomorrow."
Leo said. The traveler thanked him, his eyes filled with gratitude. He said,
"You are a kind soul. Not many would offer help to a stranger."
Leo smiled and replied,
"Everyone needs help sometimes. I know how hard this journey can be."
The next morning, the traveler had vanished. However, Leo noticed a small note left behind, written in fine ink.
"To find the bridge, help another without expecting anything in return."
Leo paused for a moment, wondering about the meaning of the note. Then he remembered Myra's words.
The bridge will only appear when your heart is open to others.
Weeks passed, and Leo's journey took him farther from the village and deeper into unfamiliar lands. The mountains became more treacherous, the nights colder, and the forests darker. One day, Leo arrived at a wide, fast-flowing river. The river was too wide to cross by foot, and there was no bridge in sight. Leo stood by the river, feeling defeated. He had traveled so far, but now it seemed that his journey had come to an end. Just as he was about to give up, he noticed a woman sitting by the water's edge. She looked tired, like she had been waiting for someone. Approaching her, Leo asked,
Can I help you?
The woman looked up, her eyes sad.
I need to cross the river, but there is no bridge. I've been waiting for someone to help, but no one has come.
Without a second thought, Leo knelt beside the woman.
I don't know how to cross, but I can help you find a way.
Together, they searched for a way to cross. They found a fallen tree that had created a natural bridge across the river. Though it was not stable, Leo offered his hand to the woman, guiding her carefully across. When they reached the other side, the woman thanked Leo.
You've saved me. I thought I would be lost here forever.
Leo smiled, but he felt something strange happening inside him. It was as if a part of him had unlocked. He suddenly felt lighter, more certain. He looked around, and to his surprise, he saw a shimmering light in the distance. Leo turned toward the light, his heart racing with excitement. As he walked closer, the light grew brighter, and slowly, the form of a bridge began to take shape in the air. The invisible bridge was real. The bridge was made of glowing light, stretching high above the river and leading into a lush, green valley beyond the mountains. Leo felt a sense of awe and wonder as he stepped onto the bridge. He looked back at the woman, who was now smiling as she walked away. Leo crossed the bridge with a deep sense of peace. He realized that the bridge was not just a physical path, it was a journey of the heart. The more he helped others, the more his path was revealed to him. When Leo reached the other side, he found himself in a beautiful valley, just as the traveler had described. The sun shone brightly, and the fields were rich with crops. But what amazed Leo the most was the people who greeted him, people who had heard of his kindness and had come to meet him. He had found not only the invisible bridge but also the true meaning of kindness, that it is not something we do for ourselves, but something we do for others. Moral of the story: kindness opens the door to the greatest journeys. When we help others without expecting anything in return, we often find that the path we seek is revealed to us.